Simplify. So this problem seems to be asking us to do the distributive property, and it's not the first easiest example because we are distributing against more than two pieces, which is the typical example. So in order to highlight this a little bit better, since I have so many colors here, I'm going to circle this -6, which is outside of the parentheses, and I'm going to distribute that through the addition and the subtraction in the problem. So in this case, since there's three pieces, that means I'm going to have to multiply on there, and multiply on there, and multiply on there. So, first case, -6 times -6w. Well, -6 times -6 is, of course, 36, and that's a w. -6 multiplied against the 4v is -24v, but notice with the minus sign, well, actually, let's just write this in. We'll do that in the next step. Minus 24v, and then in the last slot we have -6 times the +2, which is a -12. So now let's simplify it even further since we can. 36w minus a negative means this is going to be a plus 24v, and then adding a negative means minus 12. So therefore, that's our final simplified distributed answer. So why don't you pause the video for a second and see if you can do the one that's on the right-hand side. So assuming you paused it for a moment, tried it out on your own, tried to trick you up here a little bit, I put the number that's being distributed on the right instead. But the process is identical. We're still going to distribute it against all three pieces. So let's go through and do so. On the first one, -7 times -6 is 42. Remember, a negative times a negative is positive. Plus, 6 times -7 is -42. So here we're going to have a, whoops, what happened there? We're going to have a negative 42w. And then finally, in that last slot, we have a v times a -7. So that's going to be a -7v. Okay, a little bit of simplification, just like before. 42, that's fine. Plus a negative means that you're subtracting a 42w, and then adding a negative, plusing a negative again, means you're minusing 7v. Okay, there's some shortcuts you can do with the plus minus, but let's keep that just as our sort of introduction to being able to deal with the positives and the negatives when we're using the distributive property.